Hello everyone, peace be upon you. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. معكم الأستاذ غنام محمد أمين، أستاذ اللغة الإنجليزية للتعليم المتوسط. اليوم بإذن الله راح نديروا مراجعة للامتحان. هذه المراجعة راح تكون يعني مدقة وراح تكون تركز على sequence 2 اللي نعتبرها هنا من أثقل الوحدات اللي شفناهم في السنة الرابعة. It's very heavy with vocabulary and with grammar also. So let's see what sequence 2 has to deal with. So in sequence 2 we dealt with the past continuous, the simple past, the simple present also, the present perfect with just, never and ever. We also saw the future, like and whereas. So these are the major topics we are going to discuss today. نتمنى تكون حصة اليوم مفيدة لكم وتستفادوا إن شاء الله في الامتحان. So first of all we'll start with the past continuous. Donc راح تقولي what is the past continuous؟ احنا في السنة الأولى شفنا the present continuous. What is the present continuous? What does it mean continuous؟ هو الحاضر المستمر. But in this year we are going to see the past continuous. What does it mean the past continuous? The past continuous هو حدث صار in the past in a period of time that continued to a period of time, okay, similar to the present continuous, but this action happened in the past. So here we have picture number 1. So we have a woman. What is she doing? She is cleaning the dishes. She is cleaning the dishes. But if this picture was yesterday or last year, okay, now في the past هذا event صار in the past, what do we say? We say she was clean is the verb. احنا الverb قلنا نزيدوا له ing. So she was cleaning the dishes. Okay, so let's extract the rule here. So she is the subject plus was. What is was? وش يمثل لنا was? Was هو the verb to be in the past. So verb to be in the past we have was or were. So this is a verb to be in the past. Plus verb اللي هو clean plus ing. بعد نشوفوا how do we add ing. Okay. So this is the rule for the past continuous affirmative form. Let's see the second picture. حاول تعطيني second picture. What is the man doing or what was he doing, the man? So we can see that he was watching the news. So we say he was watching. So the verb watch نزيدوا له ing. So he was watching what? Watching the news. The same thing. He is the subject plus verb to be in the past اللي هو was or were plus the verb watch plus ing plus the rest of the sentence باقي الجملة. So this is the rule for the affirmative form in the past continuous. Now احنا كي شفنا ال past continuous which I think is pretty easy, but there is another lesson اللي شفناه اللي هو how to connect two actions that happened in the same time or at the same time simultaneously. يعني صاروا في نفس الوقت in the past. So we have this woman and this man. Let's say they were doing this stuff at the same time. كانوا يديروا فيهم في نفس الوقت. How do we connect the two actions? كيف نربطوا الحدثين مع بعضهم؟ قلنا نربطوهم with while. So واش نديروا بwhile? To connect two actions or two simultaneous actions. زوج أحداث كانوا يمشيوا en parallel في ال past. يعني at the same time she was cleaning the dishes, he was watching the news. So كيف نربطهم تولي الجملة تاعنا؟ She was cleaning the dishes while he was watching the news. She was cleaning the dishes while he was watching the news. Okay, let's see this example here to better understand. So past continuous or progressive with while. We use the past progressive. مش تشوف progressive تقول ما قريتوش. Progressive هو continuous. It's the same thing. So use the past progressive with while to describe two actions in progress at the same time in the past. يعني two actions happening in the past at the same time. We can see in the first picture here, the man was reading the newspaper. The man was reading the newspaper. And the woman was eating her ice cream. So these actions were happening at the same time. يعني في زوج راهم كانوا في restaurant. She was eating an ice cream and he was reading the newspaper. كيف نبينوا باللي هذه الحدثين صاروا في نفس الوقت at the same time. We connect them with while. نربطهم while. Okay? So the man was reading the newspaper while the woman was reading or eating her ice cream. So these actions were happening at the same time in the past. This is the past continuous. Let's see with this task here. عندنا two pictures. Okay? We have two pictures. Try to look at the pictures. حاول تشوف مع الصور. قول لي what is the boy here doing? What is he doing? حاول تدير جملة في راسك. So here he, or what was he doing? He was doing his homework. Or he was studying. Okay? He was doing his homework. Then what happened? هذا الحدث صار just après. He was doing his homework. وش صار هنا? You can see that the light went off. The light went off. What does it mean? يعني راح electricity. So the boy was doing his homework. The light went off. You can notice that here I didn't say the light was going off. The light went off. وش استعملت هنا؟ استعملت the simple past. I used the simple past. And here he was doing. So this is the past continuous. What happened here? نشوفوا scenario. The boy was doing his homework. Then what happened? The light went off. كي راح تريسيتي هنا this action دارت زوج حوايج. First of all, it was by surprise. It was a sudden action. يعني صرا فجأة. هذا the first thing. First or the second thing is when the light went off, it interrupted. وش دارت؟ قاطعت الحدث الأول. يعني هنا he can't do his homework anymore باسكو راح تريسيتي. دونك الحدث الثاني قطع الحدث الأول. كي يصرى الانتربشن between two actions ما نقدروش نربطوهم while باش نربطوهم بوان. So وش تولي الجملة تاعنا؟ He was doing his homework when the light went off. هذا هو الفرق بين when and while. So let's see how do we use when. Use past progressive with simple past to describe an action that was interrupted يعني تقاطعت ولا قطعت by another action. يعني الحدث الثاني قطع الحدث الأول. So they were enjoying the morning when the thief stole the briefcase. When the thief stole the briefcase. I'll give you another example. I was walking in the street, okay, listening to music when the car hit me. When the car hit me. So, هنا when the car hit me, it interrupted and it happened suddenly. هذا هو الفرق بين when and while. So, this is the action. Of course, هنا رانا نتكلموا على الباست. They were enjoying, okay. Then the thief هنا وصرا قطع الحدث. قطع enjoyment, okay. I was walking in the street. هاي في الباست. I was walking in the street. A car hit me. So هنا كاين interruption. So كي يكون عندي interruption I use when. كي يكون عندي two simultaneous actions نستعمل while. Let's see with this task here. نشوفوا مع هذا التمرين بنفهمه مليح. So write the verbs between brackets in the correct form. We have I to work on my project when you arrived last night. So here I to work when you arrived. شوف هنا when جملة جت من وراها in the simple past. So what is it هنا? It's interrupted يعني قطعت الحدث الأول. So I was working on my project. This is Yeah, the past continuous. I was working on my project. When you arrived. When you arrived. So هنا arrived is in the simple past. So the sentence that comes after when, الجملة اللي تجي بعد when, it's in the simple past. We'll see later how to use while and when, or the sentence that comes before while and when. How do we put it? So second one, we were watching television when the power went off or was going off. Now we have when, so we say went off. So when we were watching television when the power went off, يعني كي راح الضوء راح electricity, it interrupted the action of us watching television. Okay, so we use the simple past. 3. While. Okay, احنا قلنا while يجي من وراها past continuous. So we say while I was studying. While I was studying. هنا the verb that ends with y ما نغيروش نزيدوا له ing بصفة عادية. So تولي I was studying. While I was studying, I heard a strange noise in the kitchen. So now we connected it with a comma. Okay. So now the second action interrupted the first action. 4. When the guests اللي هما الضياف, when the guests to arrive, Jane was cooking dinner. هنا ما كانش interruption. عندنا two simultaneous actions. Okay. I'm sorry. One past action or Jane was cooking dinner. The guests arrived. وين راحت الاكشن اللي دارت الانتربشن؟ So Jane was cooking dinner. The guests arrived. جاوا الضياف. So now it's a sudden action. When the guests arrived, this is the sudden action. زيد جات من ورا when. So we say arrived. Okay. So when the guests arrived, Jane was cooking dinner. So in conclusion, this might help you. When we use when, the sentence after when is in the simple past. And while, the sentence after while is in the past continuous or the past progressive. Okay, so this is just a general view about the past continuous with while and when. Of course, while and when تختلف. نقدر نحطها in the middle when ونقدر نبدأ بها الجملة هنا. نفس الشيء بالنسبة ل while, we can put it initial position or in the middle of the sentence. Okay, نقدر نبدأ بهم الجملة ولا نخلصوا بهم الجملة. So this was the past continuous with while and when. Activity 3. I classify these words with the correct prefix. شفنا prefixes and suffixes. What's the difference? نشوفوا الفرق. Why do we use prefixes? لاحظ منيح ال prefixes يقدروا يتيحوا لنا في البيان في synonyms and opposites. Okay? So what are the uses of prefixes? Let's see an example here with responsible. A responsible person. Okay? Now it's an adjective. What is the opposite of responsible? It is irresponsible. So responsible person and irresponsible person. وش درت هنا؟ درت الانتونيم، درت الopposite، درت تاع الصفة. So what is the use of the suffixes? Is to form opposites, forming opposites. Okay. Next one is friendly. Friendly. So what do we say with friendly person? And the other one is unfriendly. Friendly and unfriendly person. Legal. That's a legal document. The opposite is illegal. Illegal document. Sincere. An honest person or a sincere person. The opposite is insincere. Insincere. Honest. Dishonest. And possible, impossible. يعني حاجة possible, حاجة impossible. Possible, impossible. So هتقول لي what is the rule؟ وش القاعدة اللي نتبعها أنا؟ So there is no specific rule. ما كانش قاعدة محددة. هذه نكتسبوها وإحنا نتعلموا في اللغة الإنجليزية. كان these and this اللي يعطيوك احتمالات probabilities. Okay, just a percentage. كان احتمال يقول لك when the adjective starts with are, for example, responsible, يكون الprefix er. Okay. عادة كي يكون L نديرو L. Okay. So these are just speculations. They're not 100% sure. It could be right or it could be wrong. So these are the prefixes. نروح نشوفوا the suffixes. Okay. Suffixes شفنا احنا full and less. Okay. So you can see the first picture here. He is brave, and this one here he looks frightful. So هنا the adjective is fear, or the noun, I'm sorry, is feel or fear. هي الخوف. Okay. هنا this is the noun. So how do we describe بالنسبة للخوف? How do we describe this person? Fearless or fearful? يعني fearful or fearless. هنا we say he is a fearful person, and this is a fearless person. Donc, what do I mean with fearful? يعني هذا البرسون here he has fear. يعني فيه الخوف، فيه هذيك الميزة. Okay? And this person here he doesn't have fear. He is brave. ما فيش هذيك الميزة تاع الخوف. Okay? So when we use less, it means he doesn't have that quality. And full, he has that quality. We have another example. For example here, the suffix less means to be without. يعني ما فيش هذيك الحاجة. For example, Ali is careless. Careless. يعني he doesn't care. He doesn't have care. Okay? And full means that to be full of. يعني فيه هذيك الحاجة. Okay? Like Hanan is graceful. Hanan is full of grace. That's the difference between full and less. Some adjectives take both suffixes and some don't. كاين اللي يتقبلوا less and full وكاين اللي يتقبلوا واحدة فيهم فقط. Okay? Okay. Next step اللي راح نشوفوها اللي هي I call this is the most likely to be in the BM إن شاء الله. يعني هذا التنس إذا راح تتلاقى به إن شاء الله. BM, baccalaureate, in the exams, and it's one of the most important tenses in English اللي هو simple past. Okay? So in the simple past, first of all, you have to know that there are two kinds of verbs. كاين نوعين تاع الverbs في simple past. عندنا regular verbs و irregular verbs. حنا نبداو بالأولين اللي هما regular verbs. Irregular verbs المهمة تاعك أنت وش هي؟ أنك تحفظهم. We don't have another choice. You have to memorize the irregular verbs with practice, or you can just memorize them because you don't have time. So let's start with regular verbs. وش معناتها regular verbs؟ هما الأفعال العادية. We just add d, ed or ied. Okay, هذوما الأفعال العادية regular verbs. Irregular verbs كما قلنا you have to memorize them. لازم تحفظهم. So نشوفوا regular verbs. Sometimes we just add ed to the verb. يعني الverb صفة عادية نزيدوا له ed. Usually in the past كما listened, cooked, looked, called, walked. وش يختلف غير pronunciation. Walked, played. So here we just added ed. We have another case اللي نزيدوا فيها d برك. For example, all the verbs that end with e. So all the verbs that end with e we just add d. كما close, closed. Like, liked. So now we just added d. Live, lived. Share, shared. Use, used. So here we just added a d, not an ed. Okay. Next is verbs that end in y. We remove the y and add ied. So هنا قال لك when the verb ends with y, but كاين condition, كاين شرط. الحرف اللي يجي قبل الواي وش بيه يكون consonant. وش يكون consonant. كيما هنا cry, الحرف اللي قبل الواي هو R, so it is a consonant. واش تولي cried. We changed the Y, نحيناها ودرنا IED. We have another verb, for example, fry. Really, fried. Why? It's a consonant plus Y. Try, tried. Dry, dried. And study, studied. So, هنا there is a difference. نعاودها لك. For example, here عندنا the verb play and study. So, هنا عندنا حالتين. هنا play كي نصرفوها في الباست راح just add ed. But study هنا قلنا نغيروا الواي هنا. واش تولي؟ تولي I ومن بعد بنضيف الاي تاعي. راح تقول لي علاه؟ نروحوا نشوفوا الحرف اللي قبل الواي هنا. It is an A. A is a vowel. والحرف اللي قبل الواي هنا it's a D. The D is a consonant. Okay. واش الفرق بين الفاولز and الكونسونانتس؟ الفاولز هما الحروف اللي ننطقوهم without the three بدون الثلاثة. اشفع عليها المعلومة. كاين بزاف شنو ما يعرفوش the vowels and the consonants نحتاجوهم. So هنا we have four consonants. Vowels, 5 vowels, and the rest are consonants. Vowels هما الحروف اللي ننطقوهم بلا ما نستعملوا the tongue, the teeth, and the lips. ننطقوهم بلا ما نستعملوا اللسان، الأسنان أو الشفتين. كي تقول A ما استعملتهمش. O you didn't use them. U ما نستعملوهمش في ثلاثة. بصح الكونسونانت لازم نستعمل واحدة فيهم. For example B استعملت الشفتين. نقول لك L استعملت اللسان. So هذا هو الفرق بين الفاولز والكونسونانت اللي يقدر يعاونكم إذا نسيتهم. هنا that leaves us with one last rule اللي هي verbs that end with a vowel plus consonant we double the last consonant. قال لك يخلص بالCVC or vowel plus consonant. For example skip. شوف عندنا ال KIP وش نديرو؟ ندوبليو الحرف الأخير كيما stopped, pinned, and clapped, hopped. So كي يكون عندنا CVC vowel and consonant في الأخير ندوبليو الكونسونانت الأخير. So هنا regular verbs ثاني عندهم قواعد لازم تفكروهم كي نكونوا نصرفوا في الأفعال تاعنا. Next up عندنا the pronunciation of the regular verbs or the final D or final ED. عندنا 3 pronunciations اللي نقدروا ننطقوهم في ال final D. عندنا sound ed, sound t, and sound d. For example here, wanted and needed. So all the verbs that end with T or D, we pronounce them id. Okay? Wanted, needed. Easy. Next, all the verbs that end with P or P, K, F, the sound F with GH, sh with SH, ch in CH, double S, C, and X. شوفوا هنا راهم متقاربين مع simple present كي نزيدوا اس على فان كي نزيدوا الاي اس. So هنا متقاربين دونك كي تشفى القاعده هذيك تشفى على هذه. So when it ends with P كيما helped, looked, sniffed, laughed, washed, watched, kissed, danced, and fixed. هنا كيف نطقنا دي هنا نطقناها ت. Okay? And the rest of the letters we can pronounce them d. كيما called, cleaned, offered, damaged, loved, used, amazed, rubbed, and claimed. Here we pronounce them d. كاينه حاله بزاف اللي يغلطوا فيها اللي هي for example played. Played كاين بزاف اللي حطها في sound ed. No. So all verbs that end with a vowel sound نحطوهم في الد. قال لك اي verb يخلص بالvowel sound especially e نحطوهم في الد. شوف انت اصل الكلمه play قبل ما نصرفه كان the final sound الصوت الاخير في الكلمه تاع play هو e play. so احنا كي ضفنا الاي دي ضفنا غير الصوت د. اسمع وين حطوها؟ هذه غلطه. نحطوها مع الساوند د. اوكي not id. دونك هنا الغلطه هذه نسيو ما نعاودوهاش. So let's try to pronounce these words. Reminded. حاول تقراها قبل ما نقراها انا وشوف وين تحطها. قول لي الصوت وش قلت الصوت ت د or id. First reminded. Number 2 believed. Number 3 talked. ordered. dressed. شوف تخلص بالدبل اس. هاي القاعدة تاني. next matched. started. started. recorded. screamed. asked. improved. phoned. painted. corrected. passed. So I hope that you were correct. So these were the sounds id, t, and d. You have to practice a lot to master it. So we have a sentence here. She went to her grandparents' farm yesterday. She went to her grandparents' farm yesterday. First of all, in a task or in the exam, they give you a question, try to put the verbs between brackets in the correct tense. مش راح يقول لك حطهم في simple past ولا simple present ولا past continuous. حاجة اللي تعاونك هنا بزاف في التصريف هي time markers. الكلمات اللي يحددوا لك الزمن في التمرين تاعك. So in the first sentence أعطيني وين راح time marker. الكلمة اللي بينت لك الزمن. So we went or she went to her grandparents' farm yesterday. So this yesterday here is the time marker. You can find yesterday, last وتجي من وراها year, last month, etc. Donc كي تلقى كلمة last we are talking about the past. Okay. كاين ديزانديس اللي بينوا لك the tense اللي رانا نتكلموا فيها. So she went to her grandparents' farm yesterday. Where is the verb? أعطيني الverb في الجملة وين راح؟ The verb هو went. So هذا الverb راهو irregular verb. Verb went هو الverb to go in the past. Donc هذا هو الفعل الأصلي. Okay? This is the infinitive. To go. So in the past it becomes went. هذا هو irregular verb. It means it changed. وصار له تغير. So she went to her grandparents' farm yesterday. This is the affirmative. This is the affirmative form. Let's see the negative. احنا في the negative and the interrogative عندنا حاجة اسمها the helping verb. الفعل المساعد ولا auxiliary verb. Okay? So the helping verb علاه يقولوا له the helping verb يساعدنا به نكونوا negative and interrogative. So in the negative form we just add didn't. هذا هو the helping verb. She didn't go. She didn't go. هنا most important thing هو the verb. ما خليتوش went. مش درت له عاودت رجعته للstem. The original form or the infinitive without to. So she didn't go to her grandparents' farm yesterday. This is the negative. The interrogative did. استعملت the helping verb. Did she go to her grandparents' farm yesterday? Did she go to her grandparents' farm yesterday? So here did استعملته ثاني عاوني بهدرت الانتروغاتيف فورم. So كي يقول لك form the negative or the interrogative دير في بالك باللي احتمال كبير راح تستعمل the helping verb اللي هو did or didn't. Another thing to notice اللي لازم ما تغلطوش فيه هو كي يكون عندي did or didn't الverb يولي للحالة الأصلية. اوكي كان اللي يقول negative and interrogative أنا حبيتك تتذكر بس كاينه حاله في النيجاتيف ما تكونش فيها did. كي تدخل didn't or did للجمله الفيرب رجعوه للحاله الاصليه. Keep that in mind. So كي يكون عندي WH question واش ندير له؟ نحطه هو الاول ومن بعد نكتب الجمله تاعي كيما بهذه الطريقه. So W for example, where did you go yesterday? Where did she go yesterday? هنا استعملت where ومن بعد did she go yesterday. Okay, so this is WH question. Yes or no question, negative and affirmative form in the simple past. We have a small task here in the simple past. We have yesterday I went to the bank. We can say here the time marker yesterday. هنا يعني نتكلم على simple past. Yesterday I went to the park. So go ولا went. 2. My grandparents us last week. So the verb visit becomes visited. 3. Last weekend. شوفوا last تختلف وش يجي من وراها. Last weekend, last week, last month, last decade, last century. So last weekend I write. شكون يعرف the verb write? Is it regular or irregular? So write is an irregular verb اللي لازم نحفظوه يولي wrote. يولي wrote. So last weekend I wrote. I wrote an email to my friend. D. My brother any computer games last night. Not play. على يدير لك not باه تكون الجملة تاعك in the negative. واش قلنا negative نستعملو helping verb الفعل المساعد اللي هو didn't في negative. So my brother didn't what? Didn't play ولا played. احنا قلنا كي تدخل didn't الفيرب نحطوه في الحالة الأصلية ما نغيروهش. Didn't play. So the verb stays in stem. Any computer games last night. E. We cereal and juice for breakfast. We have two verbs here. The first verb is eat becomes ate. We ate cereal and drank. هنا most cases في أغلب الأحيان not always كي يكون عندي the vowels I في نصف الكلمة عادة يولي A كيما drink يولي drank. Okay, we are going to see another verb حتى هو عنده نفس difference. F. My favorite TV program yesterday. ما عندك not. So what do? راح نفورم we are going to form the negative. I didn't watch. مادام استعمل didn't the verb doesn't change. My friend me a new pencil case for my birthday. The verb give. It's an irregular. واش قلت لكم هذا وين كيكون عندي I في النص عادة ماشي دائما يولي A. So give. My friend gave. So my friend gave me a new pencil case for my birthday. Last one H. Yesterday I first verb walk. So I walked. We just add ed, regular verb. To school, I not go. So negative. واش نديرو؟ Didn't go. Didn't go. إذا درت له هنا didn't went هتروح لك العالم. Okay. Didn't قلنا كي تدخل did or didn't in the sentence يعني affirmative or negative you put the verbs in stem. Okay. So that was all for the simple past. I hope it was clear. هنا we are talking just in general. Okay. You have to get deeper. لازم تزيد تقراها مليح وحدك. Next tense. بزاف يشوفوه difficult but I consider it easy. It's normal. It's not that difficult. Which is the present perfect. Okay. أول حاجة لازم تعرف what does it mean, the present perfect, or what does it refer to. So this is the timeline. This is the past. This is the present. And that's the future. So the future دوك نزيدو نشوفوه. I didn't mention it قبيل. أنا ما ذكرتوش قبيل باسكو على بالي كاين بزاف مازالو ما لحقوش. It's easy. We are going to discuss it. So خلينا في present perfect. what does it mean, the present perfect? For example, I have lived in that house for 20 years. I have lived in that house for 20 years. يعني سكنت في هذاك المنزل لمدة 20 years. I'm going to write it here. نكتبها لكم هنا. So I have lived in that house for 20 years. Okay, what does it mean here? نروح نعلمو في التايم لاين تاعنا وين راحت 20 years اللي كنت ساكن فيها أنا في هذا الهاوس. So هنا this is the time, هذا هو الوقت اللي سكنت فيه in that house. Here حتى لهنا. This is 20 years. So I have lived in that house for 20 years. يعني في هذاك المنزل ممكن سكنت لمدة 20 سنة. I have lived in that house for 20 years. That means that I still live there or I moved out. مش بالضرورة أني ما زلت نسكن ثم. Okay? But هذا الأكشن affected me. ما زال الأثر تاعي يلحق حتى اليوم. Okay? So what does it mean, the present perfect? Action happened in the past. حدث صار في الباست. يقدر يكون هذاك الحدث الحق حتى البريزنت ما زال current ما زال حاضر هذاك الحدث ولا الأثر تاعو اللي ما زال لاحق للبريزنت مش بالضرورة يكون هو اللي يلحق. نشوفوا the paragraph اللي عندنا هنا بنزيدو نفهمو مليح. So Rosemary has lived in that house for 20 years. During that time, she has raised many animals. She has raised many animals in that house. She has raised horses, cows, and geese. She has even raised monkeys. She has even raised monkeys. But she never raised dogs because she is afraid of them. Rosemary thinks all animals should be respected and protected. She has just written an article about protecting endangered animals. So we can see here that we are forming present perfect tense. So how do we form? كيف نكونوا the present perfect? Let's extract a sentence from here. So, for example, yeah, written, good. So, she has written an article. She has written an article and I have lived in that house for 20 years. نحاولوا نخرجوا القاعدة تاعنا من sentences. So I here is the subject plus have or has. So subject plus have or has. He, she and it we say has and the rest we say have. Plus verb. دوك نشوفوا الverb في واش راهم مصرفين. Plus the rest of the sentence. باقي الجملة. Here she is the subject plus has or have. هنا مادام she قلنا has هنا مادام I قلنا have. اوكي ما ننساش has و have في التصريف تاعي. Plus verb written. Which tense is that? Is it the past? بصح في الباست نقولوا wrote. Write, wrote. هذا وين شفناه الverb. What is written? The verb here is in the past participle. شو هذا past participle؟ طلع لي القائمة اللي عطيناها لكم ولا في آخر الكتاب تلقى the verb in the infinitive, in the simple past, and in the past participle. So we use the past participle to talk about the present perfect. Donc الverb تاعنا نصرفه في ال past participle. So she has written. Write, wrote, written. So this is the rule for the past or the present perfect. Let's see here the form or the use of the present perfect. How do we use it or how do we form it? You have I have finished my homework. كما كي تخلص الدرس تقول I have finished. Okay? يعني راك بديت تكتب ودكا you have finished. راك خلصت الهومورك. Okay? So I have finished my homework. She has not been to London. Now we saw how to form the negative. كيف نديرو negative? We just add not. يعني to form the negative we can say hasn't ولا has not and have not or haven't. Okay, this is how we form the negative form. So the interrogative form نبداو has or have هما الأولين. This is for yes or no questions. So has she ever ridden the horse? Ride, rode, ridden. شوف حتى ridden هنا في past participle. Has she ever ridden the horse or horses? Okay, this is the interrogative form. So this tense expresses an event in the past with consequences in the present. يعني event happened in the past وعنده دي consequences لحقوا للpresent. مش لازم الأكشن بحد ذاته يلحق للpresent. So this is the present perfect. This is the rule for affirmative form. Subject have or has plus verb in the past participle plus object. ماذا بيك تكتب القاعدة عندك. Negative sentence. Subject have or has plus not. Past participle plus object. يعني في النيجاتيف فورم ضفنا كلمة not. بصح لازم ما تغلطش في الموقع تاعها. Subject have or has ومن بعد نضيفوا not. Interrogative نبداو ب have or has subject past participle plus object. Okay, that's the use or that's the three forms of the present perfect. عندنا adverbs اللي نستعملناهم مع ال present perfect. احنا عندنا هذو كامل بصح احنا قرينا غير never وقرينا ever وقرينا just. Okay, so let's see the difference between ever, never and just. I'm just going to keep it simple. For example, I say, oh, Muhammad has just left the room. Muhammad has just left the room. I have just finished my breakfast. يعني هنا when this action just happened in a brief moment before the present. يعني هذا الحدث ما عندوش بزاف من اللي خلاص هذاك الحدث. Muhammad has just left يعني هذا وين خرج. So just نستعملوها كي يكون action or the event has just finished or just happened. I've just watched a movie about Harry Potter. Let me say it's a very good movie. So هنا نقدر نستعمل just باسكو هذا وين خلصت watching the movie. That's the use of just. It's pretty easy. We go to never. So بنفس الكونتكست نقول لك I have just watched a movie about Harry Potter. Have you ever watched it? شوف هنا استعملت لك ever في السؤال. عادة ما تكون ever في السؤال. ما ندخلوش في التعقيدات بزاف. So ever عادة ما تكون in the question. شوف Have you ever watched Harry Potter? No, I have never watched it. هنا استعملت لك never في الإجابة. يعني حاجة jamais درتها. Okay? No, I've never drank coffee. I have never watched Harry Potter. I have never played marbles when I was a child. Okay, so that's the use of never, ever, and just. We have a task here, okay, forming the present perfect in positive, negative, and questions. And then number one, I saw a penguin. أعطاك جملة في simple past. ورجعها في present perfect. So I saw a penguin. I have seen a penguin. Did they eat breakfast? It's a question. احنا السؤال قلنا نبداوه have. Have they eaten? So eat, ate, eaten. So have they eaten breakfast? This is a question. Jennifer didn't finish her homework. So هنا it's a negative form. So didn't changes. تولي have not. So Jennifer or hasn't, has not, what? Has not finished or hasn't finished her homework. Next sentence. They met the president. They have met the president. هنا لازم نحفظ الليست تاعي. اوكي لازم نحفظوها. Now or no we didn't. So في ال present perfect ما نقولوش no we didn't, نقولوا no we haven't or we have not. No, we have not. 6. Did Roberto visit Vancouver? Did Roberto visit Vancouver? هنا قلنا we don't use did in the present perfect, we use have or has. So مدام Roberto هي راح نقوله has. So has Roberto visit Vancouver? Okay, 7, yes he did. The answer is yes he has. Yes he has. Perfect. Next, write the past simple form of the verbs in the past and in the past participle. يعني هنا I want you to write the past participle and the past of these verbs. For example, take, took, ومن بعد تكتب the past participle form اللي هو taken. Okay, I chose some of the most common verbs اللي تحتاجوهم بزاف. حاول دير كل verb دير له الباست form تاعو والpast participle تاعو. خدم روحك شوية. Okay, I'm just going to do the first 3 verbs. So drink, the verb to drink, drank, drank. Ride, rode, ridden. Okay, لازم تحفظها the list of regular or irregular verbs in the past and in the past participle. Sooner or later لازم تحفظ the verbs. Okay, خير the most common اللي نستعملوهم في topics اللي تكلمنا فيهم. Okay, so I'll leave you this as a homework. Next, we are going to talk about the future, which I consider the easiest tense in the sequence. So the future tense, write the future of the verbs between brackets. So in the future tense, we just have to use will or won't in the negative form. Okay, just have to mind the position. So for example, I do my homework tomorrow, and I have to say I will do. I will do my homework tomorrow. 2. Well, I guess we ride. So now you have just to see if it is a regular affirmative sentence, negative sentence, or interrogative sentence. So, well, I guess we will go, or ride, I'm sorry. We will ride. The verb stays the same, okay? The verb من نحولوش, okay? He, she, it doesn't matter. We just keep the verb in stem. 3. He eats beef or roast beef for dinner. He will eat. Just take out 2. ساش نحي 2 من الverb. Jane not quit her job on Monday. شو كي يكون النيجاتيف؟ كيف ندير؟ So كي يكون عندي النيجاتيف form نقول will plus not plus verb in stem. This is how we form the negative future. So Jane will not plus the verb quit. Jane will not quit her job on Monday. 5. I think I watch a movie with Jane tonight. So I will watch. Verb stays the same. Next, WH question. It's a question. When Jane be old enough to drive? So question. When will Jane be old enough? Okay? To drive. 7. My sister probably go to camp this summer. You can come across words as probably, yet, etc. You have to know how to put them or the position. So my sister will probably go. Okay? My sister will probably go. ممكن. Okay? Probably go. to camp probably احتمال كبير. My sister will probably go to camp this summer. So this is the simple future. Let's move forward now to superlatives. احنا في sequence 1 شفنا superlatives of equality وشفنا superlatives of inferiority, as and not as. Sequence 2 شفنا superlatives, okay, or comparatives of superiority. What does it mean superiority? احنا كي درنا فصلوا درنا comparing between two objects or two people, okay, two groups, etc. يعني عندنا زوج حوايج نديروا في la comparaison بيناتهم. But here we are what? هنا رانا نديروا في التفضيل, okay, superiority. We are picking the superior. يعني رانا نهزوا في تفضيل, نفضلوا في واحد من مجموعة. For example, in the class عندنا أحمد هو الطويل فيهم. وش نقولوا؟ In our class أحمد is the tallest. وش درت هنا؟ هزيت خاصية الطول وميزت بها تلميذ في القسم. يعني هو الأفضل في هذيك الميزة. For example, another example, سامي is the shortest. هنا بينت باللي أحمد في خاصية القصر هو الأقصر في القسم كامل. هذا هو الفرق بين comparatives, okay, of equality and superlatives. So to be superior in that adjective, في هذيك الصفة, okay, تمييز شخص ولا object في هذيك الحاجة, okay. For example, Big Ben is the tallest building in London. هنا بينت بلي Big Ben هو أطول building in London. I'm not sure about that, but it's just a sentence. Another example, for example, Burj Khalifa is the tallest skyscraper in the world. هنا ميزت برج خليفة في خاصية الطول, okay, it's the highest or the tallest. But we have certain conditions we have to take in consideration. Number one, the Great Wall of China. وكلنا نعرفوا سور الصين العظيم. The Great Wall of China is the longest structure ever built. يعني من بين الستركتور اللي تبناو كامل. The Great Wall of China is the longest. شوف هنا الادجكتيف long درت قبلها the وزدت لها est. So this is how we form the superlative. The plus adjective plus est. هذه في الحالة العادية. يكون عندي short adjective. لكن نشوفوا what does it mean short. Number two, my father is the wisest person I've ever seen. So here the adjective هي wise. Donc الadjective déjà تخلص بحرف ال E. So we just add here ST. مش راح نزيد نعاود ندير double E. Okay? That's the first case. 3. Last summer was the hottest one for ages. يعني الصيف اللي فات كان من أسخن الفصول. Okay? من أسخن summers اللي فاتوا علينا. The temperatures reached 51 degrees. 51.3 degrees. So let's go back to the adjective hot. شوف معايا the adjective hot. وش درنا لها؟ We doubled the T. Why? تنطبق عليها خاصية ولا قاعدة CVC. Consonant, vowel, consonant. عندنا ال O هنا is a vowel ومن بعد من وراها جاية consonant. هنا القاعدة تقول لك we double the consonant قبل ما تزيد ال EST. So the hottest one for ages. Okay? That's the second case. Number 4, my mother is the prettiest. The prettiest. So what is the adjective هنا? Adjective كانت pretty. Donc وش غيرت؟ غيرت ال I. وش درتها؟ I. So I did I plus EST. ولات the prettiest. Okay? So هنا بنفس القاعدة تاع simple past كي يكون عندي consonant plus Y. وش ندير؟ نغيروا ال Y ونزيد ال EST. Okay? The same rule with the past or the simple past. Okay, let's move forward to number 5. Bugatti is the most expensive car in the world with 19 million US dollars. So here we said the most expensive. خلينا adjective كيما راهو زدنا له برك the most. So what's the difference؟ علاه قلنا the prettiest هنا قلنا the most. Now this is a long adjective and this is a short adjective. Let's see the difference between, for example, long or let's change long with the short. No, let's take out short. It's confusing for you. So let's take another adjective, for example, hot. Now hot, this adjective is considered as a short adjective. That is short adjective. On the other hand, we have expensive or intelligent, etc. So expensive is a long adjective. القاعدة وش تقول لك؟ يكون عندك long adjective, we just put the most ونحطوا الadjective as it is, we don't change it. يكون عندنا short adjective، رانا شفنا الحالات يكون عندنا short adjective. So هتقول لي كيف راح نعرف ان الadjective تاعي short or long? The rule is you count the syllables. تقول لي ما نعرفش انا نحسب syllables. It's easy. Count the vowel sounds. The vowel sounds كما قلت لكم قبيل لي فوايل مهمين بزاف في الانجليش. So you count the vowel sounds in the word. يعني مش تروح تحسب ال vowel letters. راح تلقى هنا E, E, I, E راح تقول لي 4 syllables. No, the vowel sounds. Expensive. دونك تحسب غير على ال vowel sounds الأصوات. اوكي إذا كانت أكثر من 2 syllables إذا كانت أكثر من 2 syllables هنا راهي short adjective. اوكي وقتها تكون I'm sorry long adjective. وقتها تكون short adjective كي تكون 1 syllable. دونك هنا كاين حاجة كي يكون عندي for example هنا تقول لي hi pretty كانت hi pretty فيها 2 syllables pretty. اسمها تقول لي it's a long adjective. No قال لك كاينه حاله خاصه كي يكون adjective and with y كي خلص الadjective تاعي with y كيما pretty قال لك all 2 syllable adjectives اللي خلصوا ب y they are considered as short adjective. نديرهم كم short adjective بصح بشرط الواي نرجعوها I then we add est. هذه الحاله الخاصه. So وش تقول القاعده؟ more than 1 syllable are long adjectives. 1 syllable adjectives are short adjectives. عندنا حالة خاصة واحدة كي يكون long adjective ولا 2 syllable adjectives اللي خلصوا بالواي هنا نغيروا الواي نحطوها IEST. That's the difference with the superlatives. One more thing, or sentence 6, the Algerian football team is the best football team in the Africa or in the African Cup 2019. So here the best كانت good. So ما نقدرش نقولوا the Algerian football team is the goodest ولا the most good. This is wrong. And now we change the adjective entirely. It becomes the best. So وش نسميهم هذول؟ نسميهم irregular superlatives or irregular superlative forms. For example, good, it becomes the best. Bad, really the worst. أسوأ. Many and much becomes the most. Little, the least. Far, farthest or the furthest. For example, my house is the farthest house. يعني من بيننا كامل my house is the farthest هو الأبعد. Little, the least. Far, the farther or the further. Old, the oldest or the eldest. They are both correct. لازم نحفظوا irregular forms. لازم نحفظهم. Okay, so this was superlatives. Let's continue then to this task here. So I write the superlative forms of the adjectives in brackets. A, writing my first poem has been exciting. قدام syllable. Yeah, تحسب syllables, so it's more than 2. بلا ما تكثر بزاف تحسب إذا كان أكثر من واحد syllable وما يخلصش بالواي it's a long adjective. So exciting becomes the most exciting. Okay, it's more than 1 syllable. The most exciting. B, dear memory of my childhood is my first day at school. So dear and 1 syllable, so it's short. The dearest. إذا غلط هنا ما تحسبش 1 2 ما تحسبش الحروف تحسب الأصوات. Dear عندنا 1 syllable adjective. C, Miss Belmansuri is nice English teacher I've ever had. So Miss Belmansuri is nice. ما نحسبوش حنا 2 syllables. Okay, two vowel letters نحسبوا two vowel sounds. Nice, nice, and I واحدة. So the nicest. So nice. The ما تنساش the ديما. Nicest. Last one, for many Algerian writers, French colonialism has been painful. So painful. We have more than one syllable. So we say the most painful experience. The most painful. So that was superlatives. I hope you guys get it. One last thing, ما زلت لنا حاجة وحيدة اللي هي like and whereas. So like Ahmed, Sami is a lazy boy. Like Ahmed, Sami is a lazy boy. سمعنا وش كانت أصل الجملة؟ كانت جملتين. Sami is a lazy boy and Ahmed is a lazy boy. نعاود. Sami is a lazy boy and Ahmed is a lazy boy. هنا وش كاين repetition. So to avoid the repetition we use like and whereas. So like Ahmed, Sami is a lazy boy. Who is a lazy boy? Sami is a lazy boy and Ahmed is a lazy boy. وش كاين هنا؟ كاين تشابه, similarity. So كي تكون كاينة similarity نستعملوا like. For example, I love chocolate and my sister loves chocolate. هنا وش تقول؟ I love chocolate like my sister. ولا تبدأ بها الجملة like my sister I love chocolate. So هنا that's the use of like. يعني كنشبهوا في حاجة. ممكن صفة, ممكن something you favor, etc. Let's see here if, for example, عندنا جات ليلى. ليلى هنا she's not lazy, she's active. So وش نقولوا هنا؟ Unlike أحمد, ليلى is active. Okay, so هنا وش كاين؟ أحمد is lazy and Ahmed is Layla is active. هنا كاين contrast, كاين تباين. كي يكون كاين تباين we use unlike. كما قلنا unlike و like يقدروا يجيو في وسط الكلمة ولا في بداية الجملة. في بداية الجملة ولا في وسط الجملة. So like for similarity and like for contrast. We can use whereas. نقدروا نستعملوا whereas. كيف راح نوظفها هنا؟ نقول whereas الخاصية اللي فيها أن نحطوها في وسط الجملة, ما نقدروش نبداو بها الجملة تاعنا. Okay, so we can say Layla is active, كما whereas أحمد. هنا الجملة تاعي غلطة. علاه؟ كي نستعمل whereas ما نقدرش نضيف noun ونحبس. كي تستعمل whereas لازم تكمل الجملة تاعك كاملة. Whereas Ahmed is lazy. So you have to form your sentence. Donc بعد whereas تجي sentence وبعد unlike يجي noun or adjective. That's it. Okay. هذا هو الفرق بين unlike and whereas. First difference, whereas تجي في الوسط. Second difference, whereas تجي من وراها full sentence. You have to continue. You have to finish your idea, finish your opinion, okay? Whereas here, unlike, you have just to write the noun or adjective. You have a task here, task 15, page 78, it's on your book. Choose like and like or whereas in the examples here. So, the first sentence, let me clean the answer, it's unlike, but we are going to see why this is the answer. So the 350 passengers, يعني الركاب تاع الطائرة 350 passengers وش بيهم؟ died. Who died in the crash. Brenda Cholin has miraculously survived. So people have died بصح بريندا lived. وش كاين؟ كاين contrast. هنا لقيت بلي هذه ماهيش هي الإجابة. تقدر تكون whereas وتقدر تكون unlike. So الحاجة الأولى بدأت بها الجملة. دونك بديت هنا احتمال كبير تكون unlike. كيف نأكد من المعلومة تاعي؟ نشوف واش كاين بعد الفراغ. Unlike ولا whereas the 350 passengers. who. دونك الجملة الأولى تحبس هنا، عاود تربط جملة جديدة بهو، دونك هنا هذه ما تحسبش. So we say unlike. علاه؟ باسكو جا من وراها noun. Unlike the 350 passengers. Sentence number 2. Jim Hartley was the pilot of the Airbus. يعني كان هو البيلوت. Andrew Boyle was the co-pilot. واحد كان pilot وواحد كان co-pilot. كاين contrast. اسمها like, unlike or whereas. ماهيش like. وش راح نستعمل؟ نروح نشوف بعد الجاب، بعد الفراغ. إذا كانت كاينة sentence راح نقول whereas. إذا كان كاين noun راح نقول unlike. So try to read the second sentence. حاول تقرأ هذه. قولي is it a sentence؟ يعني فيها subject, verb, object ولا just a noun. Andrew Boyle هذا subject was verb to be in the past the co-pilot. So هنا it's a full sentence. You write whereas. جسبر تكون اتضحت الرؤية. هنا فهمتوا the difference between whereas and unlike. نكملوا بها نزيدوا نفهمهم مليح. All the passengers were adults يعني كل كانوا بالغين كبار. Brenda who was the only child on board. قلنا كي تدخل who دونك الجملة تحبس قبلها. All the passengers were adults. Brenda who was the only child on board. هنا we use unlike. unlike علاه جات من وراها بريندا. قلنا وقت احنا نستعملوا whereas كي تكون عندي full sentence يعني subject verb object. Okay. unlike Brenda. D. Brenda's mother also died in the crash. Her father. هاي هنا جاتكم سهلة. Her father is a noun. Okay. is a noun. ما كانش a full sentence. Like. So هنا كاين similarity. I forgot. Brenda's mother also died. Her father ثاني he died. كاين similarity. So we use like. E. All the passengers relaxed. And you can relaxed. The flight attendants were busy serving dinner. عندنا busy وعندنا relax. Donc كاين contrast. هنا الحاجة الأولى ناحية like. So نشوف اسكو نستعمل whereas or unlike. The flight attendants were busy. So it's a full sentence. نستعمل whereas. So that was the end of our session today. I hope it was useful for you. I wish you all the best of luck in the exams to come. That's it. That was Mr. غنام speaking. Peace.